today's conversation is with someone who lives at the intersection of art, taste, and photography. Roman Ivanov, you are based in Lake Como.
Yes.
And you just hit 100,000 followers on Instagram. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And we're live here from New York City. And Roman, you have an exceptional clientele. And with this category that you serve, it is fashion-driven, it is editorial, and these couples want beyond documentation. They want a distinct point of view. So today, we're going to dive into the business of weddings, get into the layers of what it took to build your incredible global brand, and just get to know you better.
Thank you. Big pleasure to me. Thank you for the invitation, Rumi.
Of course. So let's take a little step back and tell me a little bit about your early days. What did your childhood look like? What are some qualities that mattered to your family? Like, did they value stability or ambition?
Oh, this is a very interesting question. Thank you for that. I grew up in a small city close to Moscow. I'm Russian, and it's like 2 hours by train from Moscow. The name of the city is Obninsk, and actually this is the city of scientists, nuclear scientists, and in this city was made the first world power plant for humans for city electricity. So my family they were nuclear physicists, and my grandfather and grandmother. But my parents are doctors, so I grew up in a kind of scientific family, and you asked me like. What they encouraged me. Yeah, I also have uncle and aunt, and they are nuclear physicists in Paris. They moved from the Obninsk to Paris, and they are working there. And I always feel that, to me, like somewhere deep in my heart, is very cool to be world-level professional, because my grandfather, he was flying a lot to like different countries, Japan, China, US, France, etc. So he's been everywhere because of his skills. And same works for my family, like uncle and aunt. Because of their skills, they're moved to France and they're living there happily. And I feel that I need to do something like that. But I'm actually a nuclear physicist by my major. But one day I understood that I have so much pleasure taking pictures to be in this photography vibe. And because of that, I moved from the scientific field to the art field, and keep growing my career. And somewhere deep in my heart, I always feel that I need to try to establish my work everywhere. I want to have demand on my skills in all over the world. So this is like deep dream somewhere deep in my heart.
That is so fascinating. I wonder if your followers know about your scientific background.
Well, I don't know.
That is incredible. And that's definitely a 360 pivot, which I can relate to, because my background is I'm an architect, and I got into luxury destination weddings.
Wow.
So I always like to understand, what transferable skills did you bring on from your background as, in the science world to the arts world?
Oh, wow. These questions are getting more interesting and more. I feel that I love to do research, and I love to dive deep into the any sphere of where I work. For example, in terms of the photography, a few years ago, the pivot to me was to quit fine art photography. I had a film camera like 7-8 years ago, And I was struggling that I'm always like, there are so many competitors in this field, and I always supposed to be number two, or 3 or 5 or 100, because for these days, like 8 years ago, in Moscow there was a photographer who was shooting fine art and with a film camera, and I was just second guy. I mean, I bought my Contax 645 just 3 months after him.
Okay.
But for some years after, for many years, he was always number one when clients were searching for that type of photography. And I understood that if I will keep doing that, and it comes to me from my background, because in my university, teachers told me, one of the teachers told me, great idea that if you can handle nuclear physics, if he could handle it, he could handle any other field of human like science. And I understood, okay, if someone create fine art, I could create my own style. And I can create my own style. I can create my own vision. And because of that, I can compete for the first places in the photography competition, because it will come from my heart, from myself. I will not repeat other photographers. So I quit film photography. And it was like a very good point of changes to my career, because the next year I doubled the amount of my work. The next year I doubled, and the end of the story, I became I'm here, I'm sitting here, I'm still working on my own style and still doing
So how would you describe your style?
Oh, this is a very interesting question. I think I was very close to invent the editorial photography, because like 2019 I start shooting like that, and maybe even 18 I understood one interesting thing, because I will tell you, I can call it editorial, but so many people call by this name different photography styles. And if we go further, I can describe my style as maybe it's hard to me to describe it. I just want to say the roots of that. So I actually do like that. I'm doing search for some trends, but after that I also have experience of the photography, and I understand that I can take all the trends. I can take art. I can take some like feelings, architecture, etc. I can mix it in my heart, and after that I can come back with my creative vision. So, and this creative vision is a mix of wedding photography experience, fashion experience, some editorial style which we have in wedding industry. And I'm coming back with all this to, I think, Ivanov style, and hopefully it will work like that. It's my vision and understanding of how wedding photography can be, how wedding photographies I can take.
I think you've definitely carved a path for yourself where you're fashion, editorial driven.
Yeah.
And it has a very signature style that I could spot your work from a mile.
Yeah, this is my purpose, actually. I'm working on that constantly because, I believe in a theory of the advertisement blindness. Example is I love to repeat this example. When you're driving through the highway, you see billboards, and in one moment you just stop seeing them because they are all similar to you. So it's happened with in the wedding industry, because you just do not see the pictures, and you stop seeing them because they are all similar. So my purpose is to understand what makes pictures visible for the viewers, because I believe that if they are visible, they are also unique and personal. And I'm working with high net worth, wealthy clients, and I believe that the luxury it must be unique and individual. So if you are working, my idea is that my clients, when they come to me, they will have something unique and not like their friends already had. And because of that, I think I have 100K followers because the people like it. But there is opposite side. When we like cross the border and the picture becomes silly, weird, etc. So it's a lot about taste and a balance, how to have all this content and not destroy the vibe of the event.
I do like the analogy of the billboard, visual that you're actually giving me, because I think about this a lot. It is cognitive overload for someone who's engaged to go on Pinterest and see a million photos that look exactly the same. Mm-hmm. The poses are the same. The backdrops are the same. And worse, the decor looks the same sometimes. So I really like how you're kind of like positioning that. And in our conversation earlier, you shared luxury is not about a price point. It is about an experience. So I would love to really dive into your thought process when you say it is an experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if we have kind of similar photography outcome in the weddings, the only difference we will the person will never remember how fast you deliver your products, but the people will always remember how they feel during this moment. So to me is I believe that I cannot have a nice picture if the couple are suffering during the photo shoot. And I believe that the best pictures come in suddenly when the atmosphere is like perfect. They are having fun. They are enjoying their main day. And because of that, I think not 90, maybe 80% of my work is to keep in this vibe, not destroy it. And I'm so happy that now I see the move in the wedding industry from the like content creation part to the vibe part of the event. And I am adjusting my photography accordingly to that. And I think we need to focus all the team, like planners, photographers, videographers, decorators, and in Russia they have the guys who are responsible for the vibe of the event. So it's like a register, like you move in the movie, the guy who say cut.
The creative director.
Yeah, creative directors. Yeah, they have these guys who they create in a show, or it's not. Sometimes it's not a show. It's the real experience. When I can go deep in this topic, but accordingly come back.
So that is an intentional service that is hired?
Yeah. Yeah,
that is fascinating.
This is a very interesting approach. They create like a show, the wedding, and when the guests they come to the place, they feel like they are in a theater.
Got it.
Yeah, this is cool, and the couple is the main characters of this theater, and everything like happening around them. And this there are many, so the crazy, very, not just crazy concepts. It's more about the ideas behind that, and it's more about vibe, and and
that makes people feel more present, which in return translates into art.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm replying. Like I will try to reply directly to your questions.
No, you're good. I love that. Yeah. Okay, so obviously you've had this phenomenal start. We jump straight to year 8, but I would want to take maybe step back into year 1 and 2 of your photography brand. Mm-hmm. For any aspiring photographer listening to this who has followed your work for the last 10 to 15 years, take us back into what those early days look like, where you were kind of finding your footing into the industry, and what was your mental thought process then in terms of there's one thing, which is figuring out the art, editing the photos, delivering it, giving a good client experience. But there's a whole other layer beneath that, which is the business side of things. So I'd love to understand what those early years look like. And then, of course, we have a whole 360 where you moved to Italy and started in a brand new market.
It feels like a few questions in that question, and if we'll come back to my early ages, like when I started to take the pictures. First of all, I was searching for the best photography in the world and try to understand how they did it and how they took some pictures. And I read some famous books about it and how about the wedding photography, and I had like my favorite photographers, and they are still working, and it's so cool. And after that, I was brave enough to buy some new gear to understand how film works, etc. And I remember another moment. I remember I have I call it like a glass ceiling. When you like do everything and you cannot hit it, you cannot grow after that. And there are few of them in my career. I've seen few, and I remember a moment when I was working. Like my clients were happy. Decorators were happy, planners were happy, everyone were happy. But when I come to some planner and ask them like, why you don't give me a new job, and they told me like, we don't know, the couples are just choosing another photographer. And when I like have this idea, I mean, I understand like, okay, I'm in a situation when I did my best, and this is it. How can I fix it? And I created in my head the idea, and maybe I took this from my university and approaches of the scientists doing that. Like I try to divide my life, my work in a specs, like in a parts, and I create the concept of ideal photographer in my head, like a, shining, spherical, ideal photographer in a space, like that.
So when you say ideal photographer, take me back to that where you kind of took analogy from your school. What did you dissect? Like, is it the perception of you, the ideal photographer, or is it the client experience? I'd love to understand what that translation was. And I can kind of share a little insight here. Because of my architecture background, regardless of what project I start, whether it's building a new tech product or a wedding, I always start with a case study. It's just the way I know how to do things. And then that kind of has like 5 phases of how that case study kind of evolves. And then we begin the actual project. So I'd love to understand how you kind of thought about that and executed that.
With photography, it's a quite, it's quite, there are two sides of that. If you are doing too much studies, you can accept the vision of other photographers. But if you accept someone's vision and someone's approach, you will like reach some certain basic level. But as soon as you go in further, you will be like a copy of others. I have a huge example. The most important woman in my life, my wife. Kroshka Hope, her Instagram, and Nadia, her name, and she impressed me a lot, and I will tell you how. She decided in the year 2021, right before COVID, 2 years before COVID, we were in Bali, and she decided to take some videos, like a birthday present to me. We've been there in winter, but my birthday in June, so I don't know how it was working, but anyway, it was like a present to me, as far as I remember. So she did a video about me. She took a video, she edited and she posted, and then in 1.5 years after, she was with we were in Bali again, and we were watching the biggest awards of wedding industry of Russia, and the speaker pronounced her name as the best videographer of the year in Russia in a most important competition for videographers, and it was a scandal. She was working in that field for 1.5 years, and there was a moment when they start, like the guys with a skin head over here, gray hair, like I am right now. It was like videographers who was working for videographers. This is the problem of the glasses. So, and it was a scandal because she just came to the market.
Okay.
And the guys who was working there for years, She compete them, she beat them.
Got it.
And she didn't do any research. She have just one masterclass in her life, and she tried to understand how to make a sound.
Yeah.
And I understood that if you have some sparkle in your heart, it can bring you to because you will be unique. And with the photography, it's always like inventing bicycle, because it's a not I think not so big amount of knowledge we can find, and if we found it, it might be like nice for the basic level. Like I have educational program, but it's like it's a basic level, and it's like a support for creativity which comes after that. So because of that, I tried to reinvent photography, and I always trying to reinvent wedding photography to make it visible, like not others.
I like that. And it sounds like Nadia was creating from a place of authenticity.
Exactly.
And she didn't get hung up on the details of what goes into. It's that theory versus reality of what happens when you start creating. I love that. Mm-hmm. Was there a moment, as you started kind of scaling the brand, where you felt, I've made it?
I think so. I think few moments. Maybe like after I create idea of ideal photographer, I started implemented this. Like I split it into parts, and I started to getting better in every field. And it turned out, like when I heard my name in like the best photographer of Russia in 2020, and I felt that I did something correctly. I already felt it because of the amount of like inquiries and amount of job I have that moment. But it was like a proof that I'm like officially the best for 2020 in Russia. Nowadays I have officially like paper that U.S. government consider me as a talented person, because I'm here because of my O1B visa, like a visa talent.
Well,
and I'm like,
congratulations.
so, yeah, this is it. Yeah, I think, and it was that moment again.
When you got that recognition.
Yeah, exactly.
And, a lot of people, now this is the part that I always find interesting from a psychological standpoint. There's fame, and to go back to your point about the glass ceiling, the thing with high achievers are you can keep going. And what changes both internally and externally when you kind of unlock that I've made it moment?
Oh, first, it's hard. It's hard to reply to answer this question. I just feel that I need to be. Shy is not correct. No, it's opposite to that. I just need to
humble.
Keep humble. Yeah, and be humble. I think so. Yeah, and I need to keep working. I need to do my things, and some good things will come after that. I need to do my homework, do my research, do my studies, and try to be this ideal photographer. And maybe if I achieve these moments, for example, this year I understood like that I want to have my like new vision of my photography, which I would like. And I understood when I like achieve this vision and I have a clear picture in my head, I feel that I did it. And it's not a award. It's not actually in the Western world here, there are not so many awards like everyone are speaking about. There are some competitions, but
it's not as much as I've seen it in Asia as well. I know what you mean. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There are, but yeah, it's kind of a broken model for sure. So I want to talk about, we talked a lot about your wins and those high moments, but let's just reflect back on the last 10, 15 years of your photography career. What has been some of the most hardest, like challenging seasons of your business?
I think the hardest challenge, if I understand you correctly.
Yeah, or was there a moment you were like, well, this is not going to work?
Oh, yeah, it's actually, when I moved to Italy, I can say that it was the hardest thing I've done in my life, this immigration thing, because it's like, it was, I need to hustle a lot. And I'm still need, I'm still need to do all the documents. I still need to documentally wise, many like things which I need to be in a proper timing, and I needed to keep it all. And in comparison with that, I had a feeling when I moved to Italy that 70% of my work I'm doing is documents, like possibility to live there. Because to me, but in the 30%, I invest in my business. And it turned out good. I mean, because I have like a background in photography, like I know how to shoot weddings. I knew how to shoot weddings, and I can invest this 70% of time. But finally, I did it. I like settled it, and it's all good now. Hello, Italian taxes.
So that was like the hardest phase.
This is one of the hardest things.
The transition. So with that, was there like a moment where you were culturally having to adapt to a brand new market? Was the artistic, so this was my thesis, because we have very similar backgrounds, where it's like I moved. My thesis was always, especially as a global planner and you're a global photographer, people are people.
Exactly.
And once you start taking all of those labels away, at the very core, you're creating art. And it doesn't matter if you're doing that in Australia, the US market, the UK, or Italy for that matter. So I'd love to kind of understand, the immigration process aside, once you picked up your camera and you started shooting this Italian couple, like what went on there?
I think you're absolutely right about the people are people. And the most interesting to me is to look how different, like cultural differences, how Chinese people are behaving on the weddings, how they celebrate their important occasions, and how Americans doing that, how Italians, French people. And to me, it was always like the very interesting part. First time when I was in Paris, I was like a young boy with open eyes, and I just, and the most interesting part to me was like where, like all these people, where they going, what they are doing, what they are thinking about. Like this French guy who's living in, I was considering Paris as a paradise that moment. It's not, but I mean, whatever. We will not go deep in that. And now in my work, when I work in, sometimes I understand like that ladies usually like when they look beautiful, when amount of chins equal amount of people on the picture, so no double chins. About that. And in terms of that, it's quite similar. Long legs, thin waist, and I will not continue this idea, but the cultural difference they have is so cute to me, and it's so interesting, and I'm just like swimming in the best ocean I can find. I enjoy it a lot in my work. And it's not just art, just like to meet the new cultures, and this is just lovely, the most very important part of my job to me. But did I understand? Did I answer your question?
Yes,
not?
You did. And on that note of like the cultural transition and literally like moving across different countries, what does luxury mean to you? Because when you move to a brand new country, you don't really bring all of the accolades you had as one of the top photographer. So you're not able to kind of bring any of that because you're starting from scratch. So I'd love for you to kind of use this as an inspirational moment for any photographer who's watching to kind of share that, because I'll give you an example. I've heard people be very dramatic of like, oh, I moved from Denver to Austin. Well, you're still in the same country. It is not that deep and complicated. So you can still kind of carry those credits to the other state. This is kind of like going global. So I'd love to understand what that blank canvas, look like.
I think that we shouldn't like underestimate the price when photographer need to pay when they move from one state to another. I will tell you why. Even in Russia, when I was working in Moscow, I was working in Moscow. But when the people are searching for the photographer, they usually search like by the geolocation. And it's like completely different markets in Moscow and St. Petersburg, like two biggest cities of Russia. And until you are on a certain level and people know you, it's a huge problem because you are always local photographer. And because of that, if you move from Denver to New York, you will need to create new portfolio. And this is a huge thing. You can, only if you are already superstar, you can or if you are destination photographer and your field is a destination photography, you can use portfolio from different places. But many of my clients select me because I'm in Como, or it was in Moscow, and
so geography...
it's like we don't need to, we shouldn't underestimate it. But the level of art is always visible, and it's quite popular. In all over the world. That if you want a nice photographer for your wedding, you want have this some sort of feeling you have from his works to bring it to your own life, because you will look at this picture for the rest of your life, and you will show it to your grandkids. And this is important part. And I think it's if it's like that, if you consider it like that, you will choose not the best photographer for your local town. You will choose the best photographer you can find. And when we come to the world level scale, you will be able to choose the best, the top level client. I cannot say top level. Wealthiest people, they choose the best in the world. If you the previous step is your choose best in the country, and if you go in a little lower, you choose the best out of the some states around you. And sometimes it's your local photographer could be the best in this.
In this, so it's a top-down approach.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, because you kind of positioned yourself as a destination wedding photographer, what would your advice be to a photographer who's, let's say, 3 to 5, 6 years into business, and now they've been shooting in maybe 2 cities, a lot of American photographers really are starting to position themselves to enter the Italian market or the European market. Mm-hmm. And of course, vice versa. There's a lot of beautiful synergy there. How would you kind of help them think through this positioning where it's how do you even get those jobs? I'm curious about if you have any hacks from a business standpoint to not just enter new markets, but to actually position yourself as a true destination expert.
First of all, it's a portfolio. If you want to have, if you want to work in some places, it's good for you to have a portfolio from that places. But also, with all the years I think the typical standard marketing tools are working the best. So you show your work to as many people as possible. You have a nice website. You have a clear packages. You have a system how you can accept inquiries, and sometimes advertisement works. I don't use any advertisement because I have a -1 coin in rubles in my Instagram account, and I need to do something, so I'm not paying for any advertisement.
But my question is about building the portfolio. I'm a photographer. I've been doing this for 5 years.
Not just business, okay.
And I'd love to understand, how am I building my portfolio if I want to become or brand myself as a destination photographer?
There are 2 answers for that.
Yeah.
The first, you can go to the master classes. You can shoot your friends, and this is basic, typical steps. I don't think that I can say something new here. And you need to find a way how to have this portfolio somehow. This is it. But the second thing is example of my wife, and Kroshkahov one more time. Hello to you. She started in a very low but low budget weddings, can I say like that? It's not a bad weddings, it's just with a like in location. When I saw locations where she was working, I was like already was like a photographer in the market, established business, and I was like, wow, it's hard to shoot there. It's like really hard. The light is not nice. It's not I mean, it's hard. And after that, she came back with the insanely beautiful videos, and then I don't know how to. I mean, even now I don't understand how can I do it
she's
with
an
a
artist.
photographer. Yeah, exactly. And it brings me to bring me idea that when you are super talented and you can never know your talents, you can just try to maybe don't listen to any other photographers or videographers, and you can provide amazing portfolio from the simple locations. If you can handle this, the world will open for you, because everyone will see like, wow, how he did it in this location. And it's like when it's not like perfect, and it's the matter of that you can have portfolio in your courtyard. I mean, you can have it. You can be creative using like the things. No need to fly to another continent.
To another country to do that.
Yeah.
And you talk a lot about your wife, and you've kind of like mentioned the other relationships that you've had in your life. How important it is to build relationships in the luxury wedding world, and how have you kind of structured that into your brand building?
I believe that you need to be a nice person in your heart. I'm working not for money. I'm working for pleasure, and I know that people are people. And I have 2 kids, and my clients come to me and they give me money, and I can like go to vacation with my kids. So I'm very grateful for them, and because of that, and my payback to do my best in my job. And this is simple thing when you're trying to do, and I understood it when you work with the different cultures, like German people, Italians, French people. When you are trying to do like you are professional and you have a clear purpose of provide the best, in my case, pictures, you just doing that, and it's enough to establish relationship with the planners, with other people. You just like honest and trying to do everything which will be beneficial for everyone. This is a simple, very simple to me topic. How I structure it, actually, I don't structure it anyhow. It's a mess. I'm going with the flow.
Very organic and
very
building.
organic. Yeah.
I love that. Do you build? So it sounds like you're not. You're kind of like meeting people, and then it kind of compounds over time. So let's talk a little bit about like how it funnels back into the business. One of the things you shared previously was you get a lot of referrals from planners who are an integral part about, for growing the brand, for getting you to some of the most iconic, destinations in the world. What would your advice be to an aspiring photographer about relationships with planners to kind of break into the luxury wedding market?
You remember I told you the story when the clients with some planners selected other photographer. I told you about it. And I'm keeping the same strategy. So what did I do this time? I tried to be, shortly speaking, better and better in every aspect of my job. So what's going after that? And I think this is the best strategy to work with the planners. And I'm constantly have it as a clear strategy of my life, and I come from the idea came to me from one very luxury, super top-notch, super top-level wedding planner, Lisa Vors. As far as I remember our conversation with her, it was a COVID time, interviews via Zoom, and she told one idea. My friend of mine, Daria, you might know the brand Wedding Vibes. They are wedding blog. They are helping photographers to grow, and sorry if I pronounce other brands here.
You're good. No, they're incredible. I love what they do. Keep going.
But we have this interview, and Daria asked this super planner, okay, are you searching for the are there any possibilities for the fresh blood, new photographers to come to your brand? And first of all, it was many years ago. I can mess up some things, and I can do some mistakes. But how it come to my heart is stay there. And she replied, no. We are not searching for the new photographers, and because it's too dangerous. Because the business is already, as I understand it, it's too dangerous with the top-notch clients. But like it was like the clearest answer for that question I have this time, because all the other planners usually say like, send us your works, we will have a look, and you send them works, and they are not replying to you or something like that, maybe not even open, if like whatever, we will not go to. So what to do? And she told the very important to my work thing. I think it's a basement of all my network part. She told that we are here in the top of the world, not top of the world, she said more nice words. So we are here not for forever. One day we will like step apart, and the new planners will come, and these planners need to grow. And if you will help them to grow, if you will grow together, if you will create some projects which will stand out, you will work in this market anyway. So in my strategy is working with the planners, if I together to try to come to provide the best outcome from the wedding, to make it as visible as possible, to make the picture viral, to make the clients the super happy about it. And actually all my clients are having fun, they are happy, they are many times I heard that the best investment was the photographer, but I don't believe them, because they drink their wine. And it couldn't be possible without planners. So it's like, but anyway, if you help people to grow, you can grow together, and you will compete. You will like achieve some outcomes after that. And after the years, I have friends and like planners, and we were in a different situation which we solved together as a team. And I think this is the best approach how to deal with the planners. And from the beginning, you could start. I'm sorry for so long answers.
It sounds like it is a beautiful mix of, from a strategic standpoint, established planners, but also collaborating with emerging planners.
Yeah.
Kind of shift gears to talk about like the business of weddings and the topic about relationships, which kind of transcends into the kind of bookings and weddings you kind of unlock by working with incredible planners. What does it look like financially at your level as a luxury wedding photographer? I know you're selective about the kind of weddings you do, as well as the number of weddings you do per year, 25, 30, and you're very intentional, and you're not, sometimes maybe you're even saying no to projects because it is not good in terms of alignment, which I'm sure happens at for luxury wedding businesses. So I'd love to understand, for a photographer who is, again, listening to this, is in year 4 or 5 of their business, how does one go from charging 5-6K to charging 20K?
I have a super simple answer for that, and how I did it. When you have more job than you can digest, you increase your prices. And I feel this strategy is kind of safe. So you accept certain amount of projects, and as soon as you feel that you will have enough money for the next year, you can like pay like whatever things you want to pay, you can increase your prices, and you can be bold. I mean, you can be brave in that, because it's your time. For example, in my case, I have 2 kids, and I want to spend time with them, and I want to see them grow and not just flying all over the world. And because of that, I must limit the amount of projects, and this is it. And I believe that I can adjust my prices accordingly to that. And the idea came to me like few weeks ago. Actually, I put in the prices that they will be like we hold them for 1 month after inquiry. Actually, turnout time is 5 weeks, so it might be 5 weeks there. I don't remember, but 5 weeks is harder to explain. Like it's more complicated than 1 month, so it might be 1 month. So the idea is that I like have a space for myself to change my prices, and I always count them personally, individually, and it depends on the amount of bookings, it depends on the destination, because I need to add some travel costs, etc.
So if I may add, and I've seen this, it's okay. So let's say someone's charging $5,000 per session or for wedding photography, and they want to start charging 10, 15K, and ultimately 20K and beyond. So the kind of like the median number I've seen in the U.S. luxury wedding market is 20K to 60K is kind of what I've seen in the sphere. But at the range of someone trying to charge the 5K and jumping to 10, 15K, nothing much is really changing in their portfolio to justify those prices. Yes, they're getting jobs. So do you have any like strategic insight of like, yes, you can increase your pricing because you're high in demand, you're getting that many inquiries. Is there anything they should be doing from the artistic standpoint to justify this raise in their total offering?
I was thinking for many years that yes. And I believe that yes, but it's not about the business part, I think. I put it in a part which, when you shoot like a conveyor, you know, like a fabric of the plant of producing the pictures, you will be burned out one day. And also it's not just nice to shoot all the pictures you shoot become a cliche one day. And if you are okay to shoot cliche pictures, it will, and it's not affect you. It's not, that means you're not artist maybe. And because to stay artist, you need to constantly improve your job. But the reality is that it's not always needed. And I split in two parts this. Prices accordingly to demand. And I did it in all the markets. I've been in Russia, now in Italy, so it works in both of these countries. Prices is about the business part, like if you can survive with the infinitive amount of job. You cannot shoot 365 weddings a year. It's hard. So you need to limit it by amount of, you need to increase prices in that case. But the art part is like the homework to be done is a separate thing. So I had decided to to stick my prices with demand, not with a level of art, because if you are providing something unique and everyone wants, you will have an insane amount of inquiries. So you will be complete this left to me, right for you. This business part will be done for sure. So this is it.
And it sounds like your geography definitely plays into just incredible demand, which is incredible for a photographer kind of thinking about positioning, because I've seen that, kind of go across the board, especially in someone who's living, let's say, in a colder part of the country. Winter is dead. And now they're thinking about, I need to be in two different markets to kind of operate for my winter months and fill up my books, or strategically just place themselves for the remainder of the year. What are your biggest expenses that people wouldn't expect as a luxury wedding photographer? Running the business. My team, I think.
Okay. My team, and I have a booking manager, because I found myself in March we have 103 inquiries, and it's we always do personal calculations, because to my job is this is a wedding in Atlanta, for example. For now I have it's 2-day wedding, and we need 3 hours or 4 hours in the first day and 12 hours for the second day, and in Italy it's sometimes 3 days and a different amount for Bucharest.
So she's doing all
it's 10 days for the first day, 12 for the second, and 12 for 14 for the third day. For example, that kind of inquiry, and you need to understand, okay, and how many photographers do you need? Like 4. Okay, so we need to understand how much is to bring this photo. So she's counting it. So I have a manager to book this. I have a SMM manager. I have a retoucher team. Also, I have a team of photographers, and my idea is when I am booked or to an outside of budget frame of the clients, I can recommend them. My shooters have educational program, and it's open actually for US market as well. So they are coming to me, they studying. After that, they send me their gallery, and if I have a quality standards there, which we need to keep to run this business, and to because I'm responsible for the quality of the picture, so I have a quality standards. And if they send me gallery, and gallery is beautiful and meet these quality standards, I am invite them into the team, and then I am suggesting them to the clients who wants to work with me, but I'm booked, etc. For example, out of these 100 inquiries, how many projects I can take, like 2,
so
3. So I just redirect this flow to these photographers, and this is it. So I need to understand, but can they publish pictures or not? How they can publish pictures? Because they tend to, not my team, but the photographers, usually if they work like that, they will use the pictures from the portfolio, like the clients come to me. I was booked, but the villa and place is like amazing. The couple are like wanted to work with me, so don't want to speak a lot about it. But we need to set the rules of how to picture usage. After that, it's supposed to be beneficial for both of us. So, and this is a management part. It's quite hard. It's also Italian taxes.
I'm gonna look into that.
Just they have a the. VAT. It's you always pay there.
So it sounds like you have scaled a brand beyond yourself, where there's a team operating, there's a associate team stepping in when you're not able to take out these projects. At what point? What is one decision that you made for the photography brand that changed the revenue trajectory of the business entirely?
Oh, I think it's when I quit film.
Okay.
It was the best decision. The new markets also it changed, but it didn't change situation money-wise a lot when I moved from Russia to Italy, because the price of living in Italy is higher, and the salary, the amount of money I have higher, but there's like the same level of living, plus view, plus nature, but whatever. So I think this is it. And last year was quite good, but I believe that I feel sometimes that if the market is growing, I'm growing as well. If it's going down, I will go down as well. So I'm like a piece of sand, I don't know how to say it in English, like in this big world. So
I love that. A lot of high achievers always feel in the grand scale of things that, hey, we're a little speck in this big universe. Which is actually contradicting where I've seen in some of the aspiring creatives where it's like they think that they're the center of the universe.
Yeah, we're definitely not. I feel it a lot in New York. Yesterday I had a run in Central Park, and when I've seen these very high buildings, I've been in Singapore, in Dubai, and like in Moscow we have skyscrapers. I've been in Kuala Lumpur and other giant cities, but never ever in my life I feel like it's a clear feeling I have on this. I just entered the Central Park, and it was a big stone and the tallest skyscrapers behind. And if one nation can do this, okay, this I understand that while they're flying around the moon, etc. It's insanely cool. I mean, I was so impressed. I was like, wow.
I love that.
And it's huge. And after that, I feel how small I am here. And I don't feel like that in any other countries. And that's cool
But
feeling.
it's also inspiring, and you just shot your first American wedding with Weddy.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, it's so beautiful.
I'm
I
so
mean,
glad to hear that.
I texted to Jessica that, okay, this is the beginning of, like, it's a first. How can I beat after that? It was so beautiful wedding, and the concept is so perfect. I just so impressed.
We're so glad to hear that. So, have you ever felt pressure to create for Instagram instead of the client?
Oh, not really, not really. I was always like ahead of that. I was always thinking that the bride and the groom, they will be happy if, I mean, how I could be happy with my wedding pictures, and how I was happy with my wedding pictures. And I was happy to see my mom, my father. I was happy to see my sisters there, and I was happy to see them happy. And it's actually pretty enough to myself to see the people I love around me and to save it into the pictures. So the most important part to me about the weddings, why we have weddings, what is the wedding? And I believe that it's a reunion of two families, first of all, and a celebration of that. And what kind of photography I should produce to show that it's a celebration of two families. It's emotional pictures of the portraits with mom. And this is the most important thing in a wedding, and it's so easy to shoot. But all the after, all the things which inspire me a lot, is to produce cool shots, to make them to feel proud of them. And but expectations of the clients already met.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the deepest expectations in the heart. I'm working with people, like most of my clients, they want something else, not just the family pictures. They want some cool shots, some bold pictures, and fun pictures for sure, and the pictures which represent the vibe of the event. And because of that, we are, it's nice challenge to me, and I love to do this. But it's not the things between choosing Instagram or clients' demands. It's everyone wants the same. We are in the same boat. We are trying to do the best, but keeping in mind that there are no pictures to survive for. There are no pictures to destroy the vibe of the wedding. And the main idea is to have fun and enjoy, because the wedding is not a photo shoot. It's a celebration. Plus some pictures.
Thank you for saying that is very true. Sometimes it kind of turns into a photo shoot, and as planners, we're like, we want you to be present.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
What do you see are the top three, because you do have your educational arm of the business. What are the top 2 or 3 mistakes you see photographers make early on?
Oh, when you were asking me this question, I have a strong feeling that thank you very much for this conversation. It's so cool, so deep. Thank you for that.
Of course.
It's my first podcast, maybe in English, and I feel so cool. I'm appreciated.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Amazing experience.
I don't like to do anything surface level. For me, it has to go deep, because everyone, as you said, when we were chatting outside as well, your audience has kind of seen your art and your work, but I want them to get to know Roman.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. About your question, I am a jury in some competitions, and I see a lot of the. I will tell you about my thing which I don't understand and I don't accept maybe in a photographer's work. And when you have, shortly speaking, you have pictures for Instagram, 20 pictures, and the rest, the quality of the rest is below this 20. So some photographers, they can shoot 20 nice pictures, and it's luck, suddenly happen things, but also but we are selling 500 pictures, and all of out
For the
of this
total client gallery.
total client gallery. So the clients pay for the total gallery, not for these 20 pictures they can find in Instagram. For example, that's why I have pictures on my website full galleries. You can just see the clear thing. If I able to publish, I am showing it like full gallery. But the thing is, when I was jury of some competition, and when I checked the galleries of my photographers who was trying to pass the exam to come into the team, I've seen the interesting situation. When they shoot like both film and digital, their portfolio like film pictures, the cool pictures, film pictures with the flash, like small cameras. It looks so cool in Instagram. But then I see that out of 50 film pictures, they have 450 with the average color vibe, the composition, like some legs cutted, etc. So you feel like a bit I feel disappointed when the whole gallery not the same quality as this
as the hero
Instagram hero shots or money shots. Hero is better.
The money shot. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the first thing I don't like. I mean, the rest is the closed eyes, cutted legs, and some.
And is it because the photographers, though, what's the client going to know, or they're just like extremely focused on getting the metrics and vanity metrics on Instagram, so they're like not as much like focused on the remainder of the gallery?
I think it's just a both. I think it's both.
It's a both. There's a lot of pressure to, for visibility on social media. So on that note, obviously, again, just coming back to your most recent win where you hit 100,000 followers, but just getting to know you better, I feel like you're just getting started and you're going to continue doing some incredible things.
Yeah, thank you.
What is the one thing that you're trying to figure out now, given your, where you are today as a business, that people wouldn't expect?
Interesting question. I actually trying to figure out many things, and not just in terms of the photography, but in terms of the all the aspects of my work, the team, etc. I collect the pictures I like, and I'm trying to represent this vision constantly, and I'm trying to understand which works, which not, to provide the better quality pictures to my clients, the future clients.
Do you study your own photos?
I do, because
Okay.
when I edit the pictures, I edit myself a lot, and I adjust the tweaks and them, and I know my pictures. But also I understand that, for example, some pictures could be better, and I need to improve it for the next years. This is so many things to improve. I mean, so many things to change. Maybe not dramatically.
So you're not resting on your laurels.
Unfortunately, not unfortunately. I don't.
You're hungry.
Yep. Because it works like that. If you shoot, for example, now in Coma, I see that so many pictures with my posing for the couple. Like I see the other photographers repeating my pictures. I see that it's like my idea to show legs long, but they are doing they're crossing legs of the bride, but they don't understand that it should be the legs should be longer because of that. So they just copy in, and sometimes it's even shorter. I'm looking at that, and I feel that if I will not change myself, if I will not reinvent myself, I will be stuck. And for what reason? I mean, I don't believe that the people pay for the name. The people pay for the services, for the creativity, and for many things.
I always like to study the common trait I see in the top 10% of the people I work with. Mm-hmm. And in economics, there's this term that the top 20% of anyone in the market drive 80% of the revenue in that industry. Uh-huh. And the common trait, because I study tech, the wedding world, hospitality events, a lot of people even forget that we're in the hospitality business and the wedding business. It's not about you, it's about the client, it's about a team sport. Exactly. You're working with the planner, the floral designer, everyone to produce this incredible day. And the common trait with those creatives are they're always very hungry to keep improving their art.
Yeah.
And I love that you have kind of shared those insights today. And I really appreciate you taking the time to kind of break that path down. So if we may kind of wrap this up into some really tactical advice. So let's not overthink it. Just give me, just spit out numbers here. And this is more so for the young aspiring photographer who is in year 3 to 5 of their business. They're doing great. Maybe they're booking 30, 50 weddings, but they're booking it at 5K, which is still incredible. But now they're thinking about the uptick for where to go next. So what is one thing you would tell them to unlearn if it was in a one word or like one sentence? It's like, what is one thing a photographer could potentially unlearn to kind of go from where they are to the next level without burning out?
Oh, to me, the answer is clear, and many people, many photographers don't accept this, but it's my thing, to analyze your job and try to improve every step. This is, to me, this is my strategy, because I believe that it works the best to my case. So yeah, just try to analyze what you can improve and do it. This is the first thing which always worked to me. So yeah, this is it. And then show your work. Show your work. Don't be afraid to show it to the world.
I love that. And what would you say has been the most incredible unlock for you in the Italian market? And of course, now that you're looking into the American market as well, like what's the biggest difference between the European wedding world and the American wedding world, if you have kind of like started drawing your thesis on that yet?
Now, if I understand you correctly, what difference between these two markets?
Yeah.
And that's quite big surprise to me. It was our wedding with Jessica and Brody, that it's kind of same.
I love that. People are people.
People are people. It's about love, about cherishing the family values, but also important thing that in Italy I'm working like most of the time with Americans, and I kind of get used to it. And here it's pretty similar vibe, the same traditions, etc. So yeah, I believe that there are not so big difference. Also like things with the insurances, all this stuff, like local laws, and yeah, I need to dive in and understand it properly. But yeah, we did it actually with this insurance stuff. But yeah, this is it. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you again, Roman, for taking the time today. It has been an absolute joy to A, work a wedding with you, and B, just have this lovely conversation. I am so inspired, and I am also very, very fascinated for how you went from like the science world to the arts world. And it actually shows at how strategically you've built the brand and the business. And I always really talk to people about like transferable skills. And I hope today's conversation is inspiring to photographers and creatives who can really draw parallels from your own experience.
Thank you very much. It's an absolute pleasure to me to be here. Thank you for so deep and interesting questions and the possibility to be here. I'm so grateful. Thank you. And I can't wait to see the outcomes and to see the video.
Thank you, Roman. And for those of you at home, we will be here with our next one, and we're so excited to keep this going. You can follow Roman on Instagram at Roman Ivanov Photo.
Yeah.
And for those of you with a good taste, leave a comment with your favorite section from this episode below.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.